A few years ago, I decided to give myself a little bit of an economic boost. So I went online to YouTube and went down a little rabbit trail of looking at all the side hustles, the top 5 side hustles, 5 passive incomes, how to make money while you sleep. And guess what? I found one. I actually found one. I started working 4 hours a week, and within 2 months, I made over $1 million. That didn't happen. I'm sorry, folks. No, but isn't that exactly what you see on social media every day? Strolling and strolling and strolling. And all you're seeing is people saying, hey, how to make $1 million in 30 days. Well, I can make you a millionaire with a 7-day program. Oh, let me give you the blueprint. So let's keep it 100. Watching an endless amount of videos on side hustles is not productive. It is just a way of procrastination. You're not making any progress. All you're doing is consuming. You're not creating anything. All you're going to do is use your time and energy chasing behind a buck and be like a hamster on a wheel. What you need to do is you need to aim high. Don't aim low. Build something of value. Build a real business. Something's going to replace your job and not just be something to supplement it. This is the reason why I'm putting together this video, talking about the framework of what a business really is and showing the separation from a side hustle. There are 4 components to this framework, and I'm going to share them with you today. Also, I'm going to add another episode to give you the tools and the resources necessary to plug into this framework so that you can streamline the process and start immediately. So let's go ahead and dive into this framework now. So the first step in this framework is identifying a problem. And I know you're going like, yo, bro, duh, you have to have a problem. No, it's not duh, because if that was the case, everybody would be millionaires and they would have a solution to problems in the world. There are tons of problems that still exist. And what I'm going to give you the advice of, instead of sitting there trying to brainstorm and come up with something to squeeze it out, just take a notepad, or if you want to take your notes on your phone and start documenting problems that you come across. I'm not saying document it to be negative, just document it so that way you can just have a running list. If they seem silly, write them down. Here's another tip. The problem doesn't have to be world changing. It doesn't have to be extraordinary. It can be very, very, very simple. And the solution also can be very, very simple. Let me give you a prime example. Band-Aids. Wouldn't you say Band-Aids is a simple solution to a simple problem? People had cuts and bruises and gashes, and they used to use wrap and gauze, and it used to look ugly, and it used to be lumpy, and it used to come loose. And somebody thought of something very simple. Hey, maybe get some sticky stuff called like tape and put a little gauze in between it, put it on your skin, and it sticks. It covers up the cut and helps it heal. Very simple. They didn't have to go into a lab. They didn't have to be a rocket scientist. And they made billions of dollars off of Band-Aids. I'm going to give you another one. Paper clips. Paper clips. Come on, bro. Paper clips. Think about it. People were trying to figure out how to keep paper together without messing up the paper. They were using string and doing all kind of crazy stuff. And somebody just took something metal and bent it and clipped onto the paper and said, voila. Give me my billions, please. Very simple. Keep it simple, stupid, when you're coming up with the problems and also when you're coming up with the solution. So that leads me to the second step of the framework, and that is the solution. The solution doesn't need to be perfect. We'll go in there and we'll try to say, hey, we need to make it perfect so that way when it hits the market, everyone's going to love it. First impression, the whole works. Backwards. You will suffer and fail 99% of the time if you think you know what the solution is and you're going to spend all the money to solve the problem. You haven't got any feedback. You think it's the solution, but you need to put something out there and allow people to give you feedback before you can correct, enhance it, and get it to where they like it, the masses who are willing to pay you for it. This is the reason why you do something called MVP, minimum viable product. You do the minimum possible on the product or the service. That way you can get it tested and then spend the money to enhance. I guarantee that's what they did with the Band-Aids. Started with tape and a gauze. Now it's all fancy with skin tone colors and the whole works. Another company that did this, a prime example, one that I followed for a long time that I was a big fan of, and the CEO was a really nice dude, and it really saddened me when he passed away, Tony Hsieh, at was Zappos. Zappos, those shoes to begin with, which comes from zapatos because of Spanish. He didn't buy a bunch of inventory before selling shoes. What he simply did was just took pictures of some shoes and he posted them online. He put a price, and when someone decided to buy them, he would go to the store and buy them and package them up and send it to them. He didn't even have the inventory. He didn't have a website. All he did is posted it. What that did for him was it didn't make him any money. He probably lost money doing that. It just let him know that people were willing to buy shoes online. Now he can go into stage 2 and actually maybe make a website and be able to start enhancing because they told him exactly what it was. That's what's important about a solution to the small problems. Number 3 is when everybody wants. Everybody wants it. This is what we want. This is what we're in for. We want to get paid, man. We want to make that money, right? So this is also very important part of the framework because it's not a business if it doesn't make money, if it doesn't get paid. It's just a charity. So one thing you have to make sure is that you don't get caught in the free trap. And what I mean by the free trap is in the solution stage, you're going to be doing beta testing and you're even going to be doing alpha testing before the beta testing, where you're going to be allowing people to use, sample, and touch things and give you the feedback. Most likely that's going to be free. That's what I call penetration of the market. If you go back and watch my episode about 4 weeks ago about stop chasing, I talk about that in the video. When people give you money, that is now traction. And that's the part you're trying to get to is the traction portion. You want to get out of the free jail, basically. You don't want to be stuck in this. How do you get people to pay for something that they were getting for free or was available for free? You have to price it correctly. Again, bringing the mindset of being a minimalist. Not trying to gouge people, not trying to go for the fences when you have a new product or service, actually pricing it to the point where you can make profitability, but not too much. I'm going to tell you the reason why you can do this. Cause I know some of y'all are going like, man, but if we do that, we're going to be stuck at that price and then we're never going to be able to increase our prices. Trust me, I got you. Part of the framework. But in the beginning, put it in the area that's not too high over you being able to get profitability. I'm going to give you a perfect example of this. In my 20s, I worked for a TV station. And one day I came to work and I seen all this free ice cream that was around called Bluebell. Never heard of it, but I was like, hey, why do we have all this ice cream around here, man? They said, oh, eat up. They gave it to us for free. They want us to test it out. They want us to talk about it. Eat up. And boy, did I eat up. I had a good time. I even took some home to my girlfriend at the time, which is my wife now. And I said, yo, Bluebell, you got to taste this. And she tasted it. She's like, oh, man, this is great. They had birthday cake. We never heard of birthday cake before. And we were hooked on Bluebell. We ended up going to a fair later on that month, and they had free samples of Bluebell ice cream, too, in small containers. We're like, yo, I'm getting that birthday cake. We were addicted to it. This is the funny thing. It wasn't available in stores at the time that we were getting the free samples. But soon as they decided to put it in the store, they cut off the free connection. And this is what you have to do. Once you drum up the demand for having the product out there being tested and people are starting to utilize it and you're starting to see it's picking up a lot of penetration, then you cut off the free and you turn on the paid. You keep the paid at a good level where it's not trying to be gouging, and allow those people to now give you traction. That's how you do getting paid. Well, I know you're going, okay, but man, okay, how do I get the increase in price though, so I can get paid more money because I just fixed it there? That's going to be number 4 of the framework. And that's going to be refine and repeat. Refine and repeat is about system. And this is the anchor of the whole framework that makes it a business and not a side hustle. You have to have a system in play and not just something that you're throwing out there. You have to refine your product or service, and you have to repeat the process. The Band-Aid start out with a feedback. Hey, it would be nice if it stuck a little bit longer, if it was waterproof. So you start enhancing the product. Even if you had all those enhancements and features to begin with in mind, you never release it at one time. You always roll it out slowly to show people that you're making improvements. This way you can increase the price. Bam, there you go. Now you're able to bump the price because you add more features or you add more protection. You always see things saying enhanced protection, improved service. All these things are a way to bump you up in price, but also you want to refine the product or service to get a little bit better and moving through the cycle, the system, the 4 parts of the framework. This is what makes a business, not a video hack on YouTube, not a side hustle in the top 10, but actually finding the problem, making a solution, getting paid, and refining and repeating it. And there's a lot of people out there doing successful things in business, and they're not smarter than you. They're just using the framework. I'm going to make sure I do the follow-up video where I can give you the tools and resources to plug in for this framework where you can instantly get started and you don't have to sweat it and try to figure it out. If you want to learn more, watch this video here and watch this video here. It will help you on your entrepreneurial journey. And don't forget to like and put comments down below. This is your boy J.I., a random podcast. I'll holla at you on the other side.